Thank you for joining this cooking channel, Cooking with Abba. Today we're going to make rock buns or rock cake or rockies, as we call it in Ghana. So we're going to make the regular ones, and then we're going to make one from oats as well. So for those who want to avoid wheat and its gluten, you can just go to oats. So you need margarine, you need some mixed seeds or sesame seeds, you need egg, you need your baking powder, baking soda, nutmeg, salt. You also need your sugar. Then I have milk, and then essence, and most importantly, my wheat flour, my pastry flour. This is soft flour. This is not hard flour. So I pour in my flour. I add in the other dried ingredients, which are all in the description button below. Then I just mix all of them together beautifully. All of them. You see them in the description button, the quantities to use for all these dried ingredients. You just want to mix them beautifully together. So once I'm done, I just add in my margarine, then I rub it in to get it all together, like beautifully mixed together. If you melt your margarine, or if you're using butter, which you've microwaved or made into liquid, you won't add it in directly to the dry like this. You add it to the wet, or you incorporate it as you're incorporating the wet ingredients. So I'm just rubbing this in because I'm using room temperature margarine, which is caked. So I've mixed this up. I'm just creating a little space in the center as well. Then I go in to add my wet ingredients. So I begin by adding my egg. Then I add my essence. You can use any essence flavoring of your choice, but I am a bit biased with vanilla, and so I add in vanilla. But you can always do vanilla with pineapple. It's a very good blend. Then I add in the milk as well, and I'm just going to mix it all together. And for this, as you're mixing, it's going to get tough. So it looks like the best thing to use is to use your wooden spoon to mix, or use your hand to mix. Yes, so I realized the whisk was not going to do me any good at all. Plus, I was not even using it for the right function or work. So I just use my hand to mix it up. Be careful not to knead or stretch the dough, else you're going to get bread-like kind of rock buns, which is not the goal. Your rock bun should be a bit flaky and cool to work with. So be careful how you mix the dough. Don't go and stretch it like you're making bread over there. Don't knead the dough. So this is how I mixed it. It was a bit soft, but when you set it down for some few minutes, like a minute or two, the flour is going to be absorbed by the wet ingredients. So don't be worried if you finish and it's soft like that. If your rockies is not mixed properly, or there's less liquid in there, it's going to be a bit too flaky, overly flaky. It's not going to bind properly. When you get to the middle part, you'd want to enjoy it properly. So I make it a bit soft. When I'm mixing, put it aside, and by the time I'm done greasing my pans, it will be ready. So for your pans, all you need is your cake tins or your small tins, any tin sizes you want or shapes you want. You just use your margarine or your oil or your fat or butter to base inside, or you can use parchment paper. And if it's your first time baking, or if you're scared of getting it stuck in, you're not too sure of how well you've greased your pans, you can use some flour in there after the margarine basin. And then when you're done, make sure you hit the pan very well on the surface to get rid of the excess flour in there. Else you finish baking and there'll be flour all over your pastry, which you won't really want that in the end. So once I'm done, I just scoop them out into the cans. And there were some that I had with the cupcake papers, parchment papers. Yes, because I wanted to be able to have the rockies in a very nice, presentable way and share as well. So you can keep them like this when you're done. Put them in your cake tins or your anything you want to use. You can even use the muffin tins as well for it. It's going to work. So you realize that even though when I was mixing, it was feeling very soft. Now you realize it's absorbing the water in there, so it's coming a bit well informed. You don't want to get it too tough. You don't want to get it too dry. So this is how I make my Rockies, and they always come out, super, super, super. So I'm just going to scoop all of them out. So you realize for just the 2 standard cups, I got 5 Rockies out of it, which is like buying in Ghana, call marketer, Margarine cup, no more sano. Oh yeah, I'll be 5 if you get bad, sir. A guy, pa. So then I'm done. I just sprinkle my mixed seeds on it, mostly sesame seed with other seeds in there. So I just spread those ones onto it, and then I heat my that is saying as well. So I'm baking it to my that is I just heat it till it's very hot. So I put it on fire for like 10 minutes. Then I arrange the cake tins in the that is saying properly. There's a rack down there so that it doesn't stick together. And I don't use sand because if I use sand and then my thing spills or something, it's going to go into the sun. And I'm just going to leave it to cook till it's done. Usually it takes about 15 minutes to finish baking. So once I put it in, I lower the heat to the lowest or midway. So it should be like 180 degrees Celsius. And for the oat one, it's virtually the same ingredient. The only thing that is changing is I'm going to use oat flour. That's the only thing that changes in here. And the only thing too that's going to also make a difference is the addition of water, because oat is naturally very dry. If you don't add in water, you're going to have it overly flaky and dry. So you just need to get a bit moist with your water. So I added all the dried ingredients, and for that I didn't sprinkle the seeds on top. I just mixed it together with the dried ingredients when I was mixing it. Then once I'm done with the dried ingredients, I just add in my margarine. You can use butter if you have that at your disposal. So I added in my margarine, then I mixed it beautifully, and I created in some space in there because oat flour is how do I say it's a bit different. You realize that when I was mixing this, it was forming into a bit of lumpy stuff, but don't be worried. Once we mix it up, it's going to all form together beautifully. I'm just going to add in my wet ingredients. I add in the egg, then I add in the milk, and then the essence as well. So your essence, all of the ingredients quantities are in the description button below. So I add in the essence and then the milk, and then I mix it together. And I added in some water as well. Pardon me, I thought in my mind I was just applying the first one I did, the regular one I did. Then it clicked to me, this is not tough like that one. This is more lighter. So I just use a whisk to make my work very easy in mixing it up. So you're just going to whisk this up till it's very smooth. Everything goes in perfectly. Then you're going to cast it aside or let it sit. So unlike the wheat flour, that when you are done, you just put it into your baking pans and you go your way. For the oat flour, you need to let it sit for like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, for the oat to rise properly before you bake it. Because oat takes in water a lot, it takes in liquid. So when you're making even oat cookies and oat biscuits, you always need to get more moisture in there and let the oat rise or set before it goes into your oven. After 5-10 minutes, you're going to realize that the oats would have doubled up and there will be just a little bit of water at the top. At that point, you're just going to mix all of it together and you're going to have this battery stuff here. You can even fry this in your pan as your pancake, but we're going to make Rockies with this today. So we're just going to pour it into our greased pans, and then they are going to go into our heated modified oven here. So yes, I'm just going to use my daddy's thing, which is a cauldron. Yes, the English name for that is cauldron. So I'm going to use my cauldron for it as well. Now, one thing I almost forgot is whenever you are baking, please don't fill your pans to the brim. Leave some space at the top. So if you are using your baking tins, it should always be like half or 2/3 way up. It shouldn't be full at all, because when it increases, when it's cooking or when it's baking, it's going to rise and expand, and you won't want it to puff up and then it will start spilling all over the place. So you realized after 15 minutes of baking, I used my toothpick to pick the mid part to see whether there was moisture in and if it was done. Even though I realized that the outside were all looking brown and crunchy and nice. Yes, you want to do the toothpick check to be sure that it is not just your heat which is high and has made your Rockies brown, but then the inside is well cooked. And once it's done, you just take it out, let it sit for a while to cool, and you take them out of your baking pans and see how beautiful mine came out. Charlie, I enjoyed it with my pineapple juice, so then easy. So you can check out the pineapple juice over here on the channel as well and enjoy it like I did. I really loved both of them because the regular one was like what we eat for with our yogurt or like around here. Just that this was richer and nicer. The oats ones too were tastier. So give these ones a try and then let me see which one you like best or you loved best. So like I say in the next food video, do support the channel with your views, like, watch, and most importantly, share with others to also join the family. Lots of love from my team and I. Be joyous, be merry. Mwah.